Well, my guest today on Dateline Abuja is Dr. Emeka Okengwu. He's a business development specialist and also a farmer, and he's here to discuss accelerated economy recovery. You're welcome, sir, to Dateline Abuja. First things, you want to explain what the economic recovery is all about?
Economic recovery, economy.
Economic recovery.
Economic recovery is when you have the economy in a decline, and then the measures you put to be able to now, reflate it, if you may, get it back on track, if you may, get it jump-started or restarted, So economic recovery is what it is, getting all your production indices, all those indices, that make up what contributes to your GDP, back online again and back into production.
Okay, fine. So for us to recover, we're actually focusing on agriculture today. Yeah. So can you give us measures that can actually quicken economic recovery growth? In this particular recession, I'm sure that some people will disagree that we are not in recession. Do you agree?
If we were in recession, I'd have been happy. I'd have been happier. We actually have what you call stagflation.
Okay.
And it's tilting more towards depression and retrogression than it is recession. Because
first things before you answer the first question, can you differentiate between the recession we're actually talking about right now and your retrogression?
Well, when you're in recession, usually economies that recess are economies where you have, very few monies chasing production. Okay, where you have a lot of products in the market, a lot of products that's been produced, and then you have very few cash. The cost of the products now outweigh, the availability of cash within the system. And in that case, what most countries do is that they now use, devaluation as a means, of now getting their products back into the market, right? But in our own case, unfortunately, our country has depended more on importation than we have on local production. And even where you have these productive activities, they are not really localized vis-a-vis, the inputs, the ingredients. I'll give you a typical example. People who do plastics, will go to China to import what they call resins or polymer. They import these resins or polymer as raw materials, but the people they buy it from sell it to them as finished products. And then the beginning point of this production line for resins is from your petrochemicals. So if you won't have the petrochemicals properly value processed, you won't have to travel that way. People who make even milk will go and buy skim milk, okay? Even cement, you find out that they get bulk cement and then they start rebagging it. If you had mines that are producing gypsum and limestone, you will have less, dependence on. So these are the little indices. At the moment you have an economy that is dollarized, if you may, that is dependent on foreign inputs more than it is dependent on your local inputs. The moment you have any staggering of your currencies, you have a currency that is weaker than the currency that is supporting your production, you're going to enter into recession. Okay,
so that means we don't have all this in place. That means definitely our economy cannot say we are in recession.
Well, we technically, the government, using the word recession is like somebody says, I have a fever. What kind of fever do you have? It could be hay fever, it could be malaria, typhoid fever, it could be... yes, a recession is a recession, but what kind of recession are we? We're in a recession that you can liken to what they call stagflation, where you're stagnated and you're inflating. Okay, and because you don't have anything to support your local currency vis-a-vis what you're bringing to the market, it's only getting worse. And that's why you now have this negative growth of more than 2%, which is astronomical. Okay, quarter upon quarter, and all the releases so far from the manufacturing indicators, from the import indicators, from every part of the economic space. It's just spelling gloom, but we believe that with optimism, we can be able to knock out of it. It's not as if it's a death sentence.
Yes. Okay, so a way for us to get out of it, what measures do you think could actually use to quicken the recovery?
You must show up your currency. You must show up the value of your currency, because your currency is what it brings. So remember that at one time, our naira was even had higher values than the American dollar.
Yeah, a very long time ago.
Well, not too long.
I wasn't born then.
Well, not too long. You're talking, okay, fine, all right. I was, and what was happening then was that, you had a lot of our goods, and services in the international market, especially from our agro, sector, okay. However, when we get into it, you also find out that what we're exporting was not driven. The program wasn't our program. It was the program of those who wanted to buy from us. And they had proper programs that supported, what they wanted to do. All the cash crops that were giving us all that money, didn't have any place in our local industries. We didn't have any industries except for those who were just adding, very little value to make them seaworthy. We had a lot of hides and skins, leaving the country as wet blue. Okay, we didn't have, the technology, or we didn't have the policy or program to turn them into leather. Okay, wet blue was just put some chemicals on them, dry them up, and then make them seaworthy. You had our cocoa living as at the worst dried or grits or something. We didn't have also a program, the policy, the political way to turn them into chocolate. Okay.
Are you not saying production, like we're lacking in production, even if you get like the farm products?
Yes, we're lacking in a value based production. You must look at the back end and the front end. It's just not for you to go to the farms and plant cocoa trees and then get the cocoa pods open. What do you do with the pods? What do you do with the waste? What do you do? These are things that you must be able to integrate into your other, income streams. How do you use the cocoa pods to get some chemical that can turn into fertilizers for your plants and all that? What value? This is like the Malaysian people and palm. There's nothing wasted, from the palm in Malaysia. Right from the nuts to the bark to the oils. In fact, they've even taken the oils up to the point of biodiesel. So wow. It's important that we know that when you talk agriculture is science. What you should be talking about is food production. And this is where you now have, science, interfacing with technology, to be able to now get what you call process. I guess that's what we're going to.
Yeah, that's what we're going to, yes. And so now we're focusing on agriculture. You are a farmer.
I run a resource center. Yes.
Okay, so what do you produce and what made you go into it?
Well, I had a little stint in the World Bank, and my experiences there as a national strategy consultant on one of their EFO projects, allowed me to travel around, allowed me, a peep into a lot of documents, allowed me to juxtapose our data, what we have as population against what it is we have, as what can sustain that population. And you find out that 50 years ago, how many were we in Nigeria? Less than 30 million. Today we're about 170 million. Our land hasn't increased. Our land hasn't increased. In fact, if anything, we've lost a lot of our agricultural lands to urbanization, to all sorts. And then you find out that we are getting more and more dependent on everything for crying out loud.
So why so? Now you are into production. You have a resource center.
Yes.
What do you produce? We're using you as a case study.
Well, I would have gladly, it would have been nice if we were talking about this in the farm, but it's okay. One of these days we're going to get there. That resource center is supposed to be forming the basis of what I call the community base, the critical, the most important infrastructure you will need to be able to engage in what you call social inclusion. That infrastructure is to get a place where everybody sees what can happen. This resource center is in Abuja here. It might interest you to know that we are keeping shrimps. Oh yes, we have shrimps in there. We have tilapia fish. We have catfish. We have a small hatchery where we're spawning our own fries. We also have animal husbandry. We're keeping cattle, all breeds of cattle, including the very popular one they call the Igbo cattle, but it's actually the Muturu short-legged breed. We have the Oda and one or two other species, from around the country. We have goats, we have sheep, we have rams, we have a little bit of chicken here and there. And then, of course, we have the farms, we have the gardens, where, again, that's a very much more interesting place. We're trying out everything that hasn't worked here,
Okay, let's use cocoa, for example.
Yes.
Do you plant that?
Yes, we have planted. We're attempting to plant everything. Let's not even use cocoa. Let's use apples.
I want to know your production line.
No, that's why it's a resource center. What we're trying to encourage is to say, if cocoa can grow in Calabar, with technology, it can grow in Abuja. And we're trying to improve that. And if it grows, then the community, like the first thing we've done there now is that we've taken the minds of the community away. It's a Gwari community. Gwaris are known for yams. In fact, the name Gwari means yam. Yeah. Okay? Their base crop is yam. But the guys who are close to my farm, I gave them some ugu seedlings, I gave them some water leaves, I gave them some sugar canes, and they are producing. They're producing red peppers, they're producing chilies. Okay, and this is coming from our center. So the whole idea is not to be fixated. Okay, to say we can begin to grow everything here as long as with technology. This is key, and that's why our center is in partnership with a lot of research centers, a lot of research fellows. We're trying to say, can we try strawberries? Maybe in about a week's time, I should be going to just to get some strawberries because it's growing in Jos.
Apples.
We've already planted the apples, and I wanted the apple seeds. I didn't want the apple stem. Okay, I needed to culture it to be able to break forth from the ground. And one more interesting thing, we also have the snake tomato, we have the sour sops, I was in Germany some time ago, and I got what they call the passion fruits, and I took about 3 or 4 of them back here, dried them up, and I planted them, and my farm is full of them now, all budding and all growing.
Well, lastly, the federal government has plans to pursue implementation of a 59-point strategy to achieve the objective of its economic recovery growth plan in a few weeks' time. That's in this month of February. Do you have a take on that?
I do have a take on that. It will start with first data. Okay?
Which we don't have.
It will start first with data. Then it drives to what I'm saying. I mean, if you're talking about agriculture, how many farmers do you have? Are you talking about farming or are you talking about farmers?
Both.
Well, if you're talking about farming, then you don't.
If you're talking about farming, we have to talk about farmers.
No, you don't need 10 million Nigerians to farm. Okay, you can actually have, 300,000 Nigerians feeding the rest of the country.
Yes.
So if you're talking that, and if you're not talking about farmers, you're talking about 10 million people who are not producing enough to feed 500,000 people, which is the case now.
Okay. Or you could have lesser people with more farming, producing more.
So it's all about making certain that you have the infrastructure, you have the data right, you have the funding programs right, you have the off-taker program right, you have the processing right. You don't build. We have silos now that has capacity for about, I presume, about 2 million metric tons of how much do you have in them? Close to nothing. So if you don't start by, grabbing
data first,
it's going to be tough.
Well, there's so much to talk about on agriculture. Thank you so much for joining us, and I would love to visit your farm. I hope you invite me.
I'm inviting you now.
Okay, so we'll definitely come. Thank you so much. We've been talking to Dr.Emeka Okengwu. He's a business development specialist and also a farmer here in the federal capital city of Abuja. This is Dateline Abuja. I'll be right back. There is an alternative to panicking. We are confronting change, and change is an opportunity for advances. And now you have the choice to take advantage of change or allow yourself to be buried by it. And that's a wrap on Dateline Abuja. Please keep a date with me, same time, same station. You can check us out on our social media showing right now on your TV screen. Till I come your way, same time, same station. I'm Hawat Momo. Take good care of yourself and good morning.